All right. Thank you, guys. I had a really, really, really important call that I had to take. I haven't even checked YouTube. Who knows? Maybe Legends is on or something. So that's okay. This could be something that people could watch afterwards. So this is a read, a start over, if you will. We're only 11 minutes, and the other one phone rang, and bada boop, bada beep. I had to go. Hey, it is what it is. So on the tin there, it says breaking the paradigm of season replays. Right. Well, some kind of repeat what I said on the other aborted video. There's nothing wrong with season replays. I think they're fun. It's fun to revisit a year that maybe means something to you. Maybe it's that year that you first saw your first major or minor league baseball game, or what have you. I know I'm playing 1934 offline and 2015 offline. I have a 1911 that I'm doing here occasionally on Baseball for Windows, things like that. So I think it's fun. I think it's great to, let's say, take one of your favorite seasons. Just one that comes to mind is like, for like, say, RGL Network 1986, right? Well, he loves his Mets, and what a great World Series that was. And it was. I'm not a fan of the Mets, but that was a great World Series. But to be able to take a team, right? Because to be able to do something that, let's face it, we're none of us are going to get to do, be major league managers, and just allow ourselves to kind of live out that fantasy, I think is amazing. It really, really is. And to create narrative, and we'll come back to narrative in a minute. But look at what Out of the Park baseball's done. It's expanded that drive for the pennant to include any major league season, and that's incredible. And I know John DFW right now he did a project with 1993 Braves, now doing one with the 1922 St. Louis Browns, which is a fun team, by the way. So there's another sort of way into that. But all of that being said, anybody that's been around this channel, any member of this family has been around this channel for any length of time knows I like to do sort of what if projects. And not because I don't want to learn about the history of baseball, because I love baseball and there's so much I have to learn, and so much I learned from you guys. But I think the other thing for me is I want to create new narratives. I want to create this other baseball history, that what would happen if you had, Jimmy Fox and Bobby Bonds on the same team, right? How cool is that? And I know that we can get into all the minutia, the nuts and bolts, and of okay, the cross era play. And really, is it, we're not seeing these players as they really were. But is that important? Because to be able to create something that is your narrative, right? It's like when J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, all of his great works, his entire legendarium. I doubt very much that Professor Tolkien worried about, well, these are elves. Are people going to be, in this language, and orcs? He created the greatest. I mean, he's the gold standard, right, of fantasy, just as Frank Herbert, many argue, is in science fiction. And so if we create this baseball narrative, I think it's fun to see how a feared slugger like Jimmy Fox is going to fare against Sandy Koufax or Lefty Grove, which he would have faced. But let's say, or Christine Mathewson or Bob Gibson, something that could never happen, right? But now it can. And so, you go in, you tweak this cross era play. Well, what are we going to do about, the dead ball era versus this era? 1960s, pitchers dominant in the late 1960s, 1930s. It was all about the hitters. So baseball was always in flux. So why not create your own sort of thing that's in flux and see? So what, you know what? Maybe Babe Ruth's not going to hit 60 home runs because in an all-time greats league, for instance, he's going to be facing a higher caliber pitcher more frequently than just in a regular season replay. And again, nothing wrong with that season replay. But what I found with season replays, and it's okay. Believe me, I'm not being judgmental here, or anything like that. But with season replays, it seems that people pick seasons with which they are comfortable. And with that, I think comes preconceived notions of, okay, so let's pick a season. Let's pick a famous one. 1975, right? There it is. What a season. And even if you're a 20-something, and let's face it, there's no 20-somethings checking out the YouTube sports gaming community that I know of, right? We're all like Aaron, right? He's in his 30s. We're all in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's some folks 70s, whatever. Probably have a couple of 80-year-olds bopping around. But so you come into it with preconceived notions. Well, it's going to have to be, you know, it's the Cincinnati and Boston in the World Series, and Cincinnati finished with this record and Boston finished with that record. But again, to quote Dave Gardner, you know, once you click that mouse or roll the dice, you're in fantasy land anyhow. It's fictional. It becomes fictional. So I used to think, well, maybe people just want to take 1975 and just say, okay, I'm going to play this season out, but it's going to play out differently. You know, or I'm going to do 1941, and Joe DiMaggio may not have that 56-game hitting streak. Now, if you're using pocket pennant run baseball, that sort of can happen, maybe. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do sort of what ifs. Not only do I love all-time great teams, or even the more granular ones like Diamond My Baseball, which has the coolest all-time great teams I've ever seen in any digital baseball sim, is creating that narrative. And so we're doing a lot of Diamond Mind Baseball on the channel, and lately, and people are really liking it. Got a new member of the family who was saying, you know, I thought it was boring, and then I watched a couple of your broadcasts. Now I'm really intrigued, and I'm going to buy it. And I think that's super cool. So there we go. Parallel League, the aptly named. PayPal is on its way to your Parallel League. But he says, we're going to highlight comments tonight. He says, this Parallel League is a what if. And isn't it fun? Isn't it fun, right? Because you're entering this whole new baseball world that never existed before, may not exist again when you think of the possible number of permutations and combinations of 19, even if you take 19,000 retired players, forget the guys that are playing right now, 19,000 people have played Major League Baseball. Imagine the things that you can do. And you're going to, like, just like a real baseball manager, you're going to go into it not knowing what to expect. The guys that are doing Fields of Dreams, Steve Tate and Big Clue, and then all the guys that are in 24 managers, they are in season 11 of that thing. And what's really cool about it is you're learning about players that you may not have ever encountered before. So if you're, and it's cool. I'm not being judgmental. If you're just into, like, man, 80s baseball is my jam and I just want to do replays, man, do what you love, because this is the only life we got. Do what you love. Have fun with it. But this is for the people that want to kind of break out a little bit and try some different things. So Parallel League says, my league, the 1972 strike never got settled. Major League Baseball disbanded. Celebrities took over and started a new league in 74th, all new teams. See, that is super cool. That is way outside the box. Right? When Bob Dylan wrote a song talking about little houses made of ticky-tacky and all that kind of stuff, and it's Parallel League's thinking outside the box, and I think that's super cool. He's creating a narrative, and I would bet if he and I were on voice right now, the question I would ask him, and if he certainly feels like typing the answer, I will say this for me, that when I'm doing these projects, these are every bit as real to me, and maybe it's because I'm off my meds, but these are every bit as real to me as studying the 1972 season or the 1908 season or 1958, whatever it is. The exploits of these players on this virtual field, whether it's digital or for those, that play cards and dice. I hear you guys. I read what you guys talk about, not only in the Discord, but even here in chat about your projects. So and so went, like Truth Hurts Wookie last night was talking about it inside the park home run he had. And he might have well's been talking about a real Major League Baseball game. So let me see. Parallel leagues. He says his league is 24 teams in the league. He started in 1974. He's in 78, playing 30 games for all, using homebrew of fascinating baseball. See, that is super cool. Playing 30 game season for all 24 teams using a homebrew of fascinating baseball. And those things are a real narrative, and it's a cool, fun narrative. So, with that being said, I just want to showcase again some of the abilities of games here that will allow you to pretty much. There's Paul. How you doing, Paul? I guess we didn't get our update today, but Pocket Pennant Run is hiding here anyhow because it is part of tonight's subject. So running a little late tonight because I have an important call. This is actually the do-over of a broadcast I started probably 2 hours ago. So the first thing that you're looking at here is the advanced draft feature of Baseball for Windows, app of Baseball for Windows. The reason I bring this up is there was a person saying, well, it doesn't look like there's a lot you can do in that game. It seems very bare bones. This game is anything but bare bones. This is a very, very, very deep baseball sim. It really is. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of they come at it like, oh wow, it's got the Ernie Harwell. Ernie Harwell's announcing the game, and it's got this AI, and it is. It's an AI reactive crowd, and whatever. But it just right. But there's no animation in this game except for a little scoreboard animation here and there. The players just kind of pop from base to base, just like they do in Diamond Mine Baseball. But you do have a Hall of Fame broadcaster calling these games. But it happens to be an amazing game, and it is highly, highly flexible to create programs, to create baseball universes, baseball leagues, baseball projects. You're only limited by, well, there's a couple things that will limit you, and we'll get into other games where you are unlimited. But I do want to start with this one. Nathaniel, what's up, my man? He says, couldn't find the stream. Thank you for coming on again. Yeah, well, so that call took a bit longer. It was a friend that was needed kind of somebody to lean on. It was pretty. So thank you for coming back. Thank you, my friend. Paul, if you want to come on, let me know. I can switch over to headphones, bring you on, or if you just want to chill out over there in Cyprus and have your morning brekkies. I'm guessing Mrs. Paul is back, so that means you've got to eat more healthy now. All right, so APBA PC Baseball. Way back in the day, there used to be a thing called the Fan Park Encyclopedia, and some night I am going to put a virtual machine on this computer because I'll be switching everything to a new PC, so I'll be able to run a virtual machine on this one. And I'll show you guys the Fan Park Encyclopedia and what you can do with it. It allowed you, not only it was Baseball Reference before Baseball Reference existed, and it was Baseball Reference on a CD. And you could compare players, teams. You could do deep statistical analysis. It had all kinds of things like the Pankin optimizer, and I forget what the other thing is called, whatever it was. So much in this game. And I will say that that when they released 5.75, they did remove the encyclopedia import feature. However, there is good news. All right. And that is that if you go on Digital Skybox, you will find it's a paid service. It's $22 a year. I have the original Fan Park Encyclopedia, and ain't nobody going to get that away from me. Maybe I will it to somebody when I pass on to the diamond in the sky, or actually where I'm going is probably not going to be in the sky, but underneath. Because I've seen it every once in a while go for eBay, and it goes for premium bucks on the aftermarket. But if you're not afraid of setting up a virtual machine and you want to go to Digital Skybox, you can actually find the Fan Park Encyclopedia, and that's all I'll say about that. But what can you do with what you have? Well, here's a great project right here. I think it's great. This is an original franchise All-Stars League, but what's nice about it, and you guys have seen me do some things on the channel with this, there are 30 some teams on here. I don't know. 32 teams on here. There we go. I don't know why did it open that one again? And there they are. So the San Francisco Giants and New York Giants each are their own team. The Brooklyn Dodgers and the LA Dodgers, each their own team. So this is a really cool Brooklyn. And of course, I renamed the Brooklyn Dodgers to the Brooklyn Bums just because I didn't want the Dodgers playing the Dodgers. So with this, all right, there's 1,333 players right here. Okay. If anybody has Baseball for Windows, if you want this, I will zip this and put it on the Discord, by the way. Because with 1,333 players, you imagine all the possible combinations, permutations of what you could create. Just this much is enough for 500 lifetimes of baseball. Just this. And oh man, the fun you could have. Think about alternate type of all-star games that you can do. Maybe you just want to just extract all expansion players. Maybe you want to dump everybody into a draft pool and you want to create just a 16-team league, not 32. The things that you can do. It's amazing, right? And there's everybody. So we're just looking at Yankees. So with franchises that never moved, this is going to have players from Yankees up through 1997. To me, that's enough. That's good. Do I have a link? Yeah, I got it. Let me. This is Baseball for Windows. This is one of the modules. Yeah, Paul, I've just got to change audio a little bit here. So give me 1 second so I can put on my headphones, or you'll be echoing and ouch, all that kind of fun stuff, and we don't want that. All right, so let me do this first. I hate this, man. I lost my cursor for a second. All right, just changing my sound settings so that we can kill that echo. A little higher. There we go. All right, let us invite the man, the myth, my favorite Scouser after the Beatles. That is, after the Beatles. You don't need your webcam on, Paul, if you don't want, because I don't show them anyhow. There's the link. Okay. So we are going to get to Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. But I just want to kind of talk about the different games that are available out there. So call this kind of a survey, if you will. So Baseball for Windows allows you to do this. What else have I created in this thing? Well, let me show you. I've done a lot of creation. I'm all about the creation. I really am. Creation is fun. And can you hear me, brother?
I can.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You have been missed, my friend.
I'm starting to get that. I don't know why this happens. I get the feedback on this one.
That's really weird because I have my headphones on, noise canceling on, and it's just quiet on my side.
I've got my headphones on. You just carry on amongst yourself for a minute, and I'll check my settings.
Okay, don't forget to mute YouTube, and just because when you're in here, you can hear me, so you don't need YouTube at all.
That's it.
There you go. Lovely. All right, because I know we fought about this for a while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rookie error.
Are you back to eating healthy now? You know,
Well,
I had to take the piss there a little bit, right? You know, I had to.
except last night it was our anniversary, so we went out for a Chinese. So
Nice.
I was awake about 4 o'clock this morning. I didn't realise you had an issue, so I was
All
cursing you
right.
about an hour ago.
You were cursing me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Because I sent you that. It would have been about 4:30 in the morning for you there. So, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
I started the thing, and then I had this call and I had to jump off and da 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 da. So
My wife said, "Who's this Beatles you're in love with?"
well, now there our secret's out, Paul. That's it.
What
Our
what
secret's
can I
out.
say? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your stream. I'm interested in
No,
what you're
well,
doing. You just this baseball for Windows? This
this is baseball for Windows. This is the advanced draft module. So
uh-huh.
one of the things about this game that kind of throws people a little bit is the fact that it is modular in nature, but once you work with it, it's actually very easy to use and actually very streamlined. And if Aaron Reed, who is sightless, he is totally fine with me, you know, and everybody knowing that I bought this for him and he was navigating it within 2 days. So no excuses, people. No excuses. So here's something
Well,
else I created. These are 1960s best. So these are the best individual teams of the 1960s. Created this right in Baseball for Windows. It's there. Todd B joining us. He says, and Paul, just throw in any time you want, man. It's always a free for all here.
yeah, that's fine.
Todd B says, I think what is fun in What If Leagues is getting ChatGPT to generate logos, summarize box scores, create narrative. So much AI can do for projects. You know, you're absolutely right. And I said this before, I'm an artist, but I have no compunctions whatsoever, no problems at all using AI for projects and things like that. I will. And it's incredible for doing things like box scores, for creating those stories. Todd, more power to you, brother. So
I even use AI to integrate my season stats. It'll just add
mhm.
incorporate a box score into your current stats. It'll just do that for you.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. In fact, I'll give you guys a little tip. If you want something really cool, I know a lot of people are using Chat GPT, but what if I told you for $10 a month, and it's legit, there's a thing out there called Abacus AI. In fact, I'm going to show it to you guys because I'm a nice guy. Since we're talking about it, I want to show you. This is the most amazing thing. Now, I use a lot of different AI things for, like, there's an upcoming non-baseball channel that I'm creating. And it's going to be pretty heavily AI dependent. And once the more brave among you come check it out, then you'll know why. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over, and it's called Abacus AI. So this is kind of let me minimize this so I can see chat. So look what you get with this thing. This is $10 a month, guys, and it's totally legit. The language learning models you have here. So Route is a kind of AI for AI. And so if you're doing things like, you wanted to write a story, you wanted to do this, it's going to kind of parse what you've done and send it to the proper language learning model. So you get not only Route, but you get Chat GPT 4.1, Claude Sonnet, Gemini, Pro and Flash. You've got ChatGPT Mini High, DeepSeek, which is super powerful, by the way. DeepSeek is pretty crazy. So you got Grok 3. You get Smog from Abacus itself. Owen, Perplexity Pro. If anybody's doing any writing, Perplexity Pro that's your Huckleberry right there. But
I use most of those. I use DeepSeek a lot now.
DeepSeek's
Uh,
amazing, isn't
if
it?
you want to blow any AI mind, ask it to create a schedule with 9 teams. I've had DeepSeek thinking about it for 3 weeks now.
Nice.
Just say, can I have a balanced schedule for 9 teams? It just, wow. It's amazing what it can do, but it's amazing what it can't do as well.
Well, this one, what's really insane about this one, Paul, is not only so you can like do things with screenshots. This will generate videos. It will lip sync. This does text to
Fantastic.
speech. It is $10 a month, mate. I'm telling you.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it now. I'm looking. I'm going.
There's the man. All right. It'll do tasks. It will humanize things. It has an editor. It has a video analyzer. You can scrape URLs with this thing, which is awesome. But the really sexy stuff is this. You can actually create AI agents, apps, operators to do some things that you want to. You want to do some coding? Guess what? You can code in natural language what you want to do, and you can actually create codes and things like this. So maybe you might want to do something for your projects, like I want to write, I don't know, a score generator. I want to write a better stat tracker. So for you guys using Ballstat or whatever, or something, I don't know. But you can do all this. I have some things I've done here that have to do with my new channel that YouTube won't allow me to show you, because I'm looking at Rumble as the platform for this other channel, because the stuff I want to do I can't do on here on YouTube. I can do the some of the stuff, but not all of it. But I just want to turn you guys on to this. It's Abacus AI, and it's fantastic. Hey, cousin Ken, Dave Gardner, would that be a smooth operator? Dave did a great broadcast the other night. I was kind of in there, but Dave had it was just busy. But as always, check it out, Dave. Hope all is well with you, my friend, and all good stuff, guys. Dave was talking about a topic that I think we bandy about a lot in our sports gaming community here, is getting some 20-somethings into it and things like that. And I did a sort of thing about it the other night, Dave, and I don't, if you're ever feeling really bored and you want to cure insomnia, give a listen to the first 30 minutes. I brought up some points, not to counterpoint yours, but to maybe add to. I couldn't stay for your whole broadcast. It was excellent, but I had some other things that called me away. But I'd love to dialogue with you sometime about this stuff, because I'd like that you get into the sort of, the meta game and why we game. All right, guys, abacus.ai. And now we'll get back to baseball, although this is all baseball. By the way, if you want to create an HTML landing page, click this. It will create a landing page. You can just go and change it what you want. You got Python for Fibonacci series. It's pretty insane what it can do. And it's $10 a month. And again, you get all these incredible language learning modules. You can also do, since I'm all about the education, you can do things like these really super deep research, things like that. So just thought we'd bring it up since Todd brought up AI. Okay. Will we ever see someone create a baseball sim using nothing but AI? Yeah, you will. It'll happen. I don't know that it'll happen right away, but since baseball is probably the easiest sport to sim, and also the most statistically intensive, so it has those two things going, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody isn't working on one right now. Not me, though. It's not I. I have too much else going on. So again, we're breaking out of this idea of the season replay paradigm. So if you just took this thing, if I zip this up and gave this to you guys, for anybody, and I can do this for pretty much any game I have, I can replicate all these things. In fact, I'd like to get AI to automate it if it could. But anyhow, so imagine taking just all the guys, all the players in this each franchise best team of the 1960s, dump them into a draft pool. See what happens. First play this out, and then dump them into a draft pool. You've begun a new narrative, and you can replay it and replay it. And that narrative is going to be different, but it's going to be familiar. So it's not like playing with fictional players. I don't play with them. I don't care. I know some people are cool with it. I have too much baseball to learn to worry about some guy named, Vinny Boom Bots, who was like the third baseman for this whatever, who never existed. So there's one game that lets you do it all. All right. I'm going to leave it up as a sort of backdrop. Okay. We will get to a game eventually, I think. Another one you guys already know that is very, very customizable is this guy right here. Is Pure Sim Baseball. And the reason I'm going to bring this up is until I put a virtual machine on here, this is going to be the best way for me to give you an idea of what the Fan Park Encyclopedia does for baseball for Windows. We'll let that come up here in a second. We were able to do the McGreevy League because of the baseball history collection that comes with Action PC Baseball. Missed the early part. Are we breaking the paradigm of as played? So Ken, yeah, just to clarify, there's nothing wrong with season replays. I'm doing 1934 and 2015 offline, and you know that I'm doing occasionally 1911 online in Baseball for Windows. I think season replays are cool, but my thing about season replays, as I said earlier, and I'm not being judgmental, it's just an observation as a gamer, is that people tend to pick seasons with which they're familiar, which they know so well. So for me, right, as a dead ball guy, it's going to be 1908, it's going to be 1917, it's going to be 1902, right? You love 19th century baseball. You're going to gravitate toward 1884 for obvious reasons. You love the Providence Grays. But by creating projects even within that wheelhouse area, if you're a 70s baseball dude, 80s baseball guy, whatever, but saying, okay, instead of coming into this with preconceived notions that this is what happened in 1986, therefore it must happen in my baseball sim. Dave, thank you for coming in, because I quote you so much. One of the best quotes I've ever heard dealing with our hobby is, once you click the mouse, I added the click the mouse thing, but once you roll the dice, once you click the mouse, you're playing fictional. And I think that for some people, and I'm trying to tread carefully here, I am not knocking that. But I think that if you come in with these preconceived notions of how a season could play, are you robbing yourself of the possible narrative that could be there? What if you're doing 1922 and the Browns don't finish a game behind the Yankees, but actually end up in the World Series against the Giants? Go ahead, Paul.
Please. I think you're right there. I was stunned by, since I got involved with Pocket Pennant Run, I was stunned by how many people do season replays and only concentrate on seasons that they actually know. I mean, I was guilty of this for about 15 years myself, because the first season that I knew, I think the first season I got from Status Pro was the strike season, I think, or it was one of the early 80s seasons.
81.
So 81. So I found myself continually going back to playing Fernando Valenzuela, because he was the first pitcher I heard of and that I loved with his screwball and stuff, because I thought this was fantastic.
Right.
But I think I told you that I found myself missing out. So I'd watch games on TV and I didn't know any of the players. And now I force myself to always play an old season, one I've not played, an abbreviated season, but I also force myself at first to play the last season. And you know what? It's made it more interesting for me. So, for instance, I was watching a game the other night, and those players I was watching, I'd had them on the table that day. So so as well as 1980s players or earlier becoming alive to me, the modern players. I mean, I know we all have feelings about the different rules now. You know what I mean? We've had discussions ourselves about but it still meant a lot to me, because those players, I could visualize them in my game, and I know what some of them look like better, and it just brought it alive. And I think if you just play old seasons or ones you know, you miss it out on a lot.
You really are.
We may be just doing the male thing of recreating our childhood over and over again.
Precisely, and I want to focus in on something that you said, bringing it alive. So by being able to by making that statement to me, but bringing it alive is already, you're saying, okay, I'm coming into this and I'm not expecting it to be okay. Look, none of us want any crazy outliers. Okay, we don't want to do a 20. Let's get back to season replays. You're doing a 2024 season replay on whatever your game of choice is, and if the Chicago White Sox win the American League because you manage them, well, then you better be right. You better be managing in the majors. My point being is, if that's something you're not going to want to happen. You just, that would be totally unbelievable and would be a bad baseball engine. I mean, not to pick on the Whites.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You can pick on the Cubs. The Cubs for a lot of years. I mean, most seasons I play, of course, the Cubs are going to have a record less than 500. So, although I manage every team the same,
unless you go back to the 1930s, then you got some strong Cubs teams.
And I have played a lot. I've played a lot in that period for that reason. But, so if I get a victory in 2002 or 2003, if the Cubs win a game there and it's a great one against someone they shouldn't, then that's fantastic too. I enjoy the moment, and I look at, and then I try to look back at what the real box scores were, using digital dugout or baseball reference or whatever.
Right.
And I just try. But I'm not looking for. I don't want to play. I don't want it to be exact, because someone said to me they won't play a game that doesn't create exact. Well, you might as well just watch videos for that.
You might as well watch videos. Exactly. No game is gonna do that. And I don't
want. I want. I mean, like in a game yesterday, I think I brought in Three Finger Brown in a game came in yesterday, and. It was Greg Maddux. Maddux came on to hold a save, and it's a franchise set I'm playing from History Maker Baseball. So Greg Maddux came on. First two pitches, home runs, blew the save. They were leading 2-0. And I thought, wow, that's just amazing.
I love it.
I could give the commentary. He wasn't nibbling around the edges here. It wasn't working. All that. And it was alive. It was alive for me, because I don't know whether he ever gave up a home run to the first two batters he faced or not. But in my game, he did yesterday, and that was just fantastic. And in fact, it was Three Finger Brown he was coming on to hold the save for. So it's great fun.
The way you're talking about it, that it becomes as real as, and at the risk of being Robert Coover and the Universal Baseball Association, I'm not going to kill anybody off here, but that narrative becomes as real as the baseball that you're watching. And you know what? So for the other guys, this has got to be the same, I'm guessing, because I've seen guys doing hockey, I've seen guys doing football, I've seen some guys doing basketball, and again, it's that same thing. And it's like we have, and maybe this is more for digital, unless you're like Mr. Utah Mike, Sports Time Machine, or Ken Castro, and you've got tons and tons of seasons of cards. And Cousin Ken knows I'm going to say this. So he has the Appabat set. And the one that I'm really interested in is, of course, the pre-bat set. And he kindly had sent me the PDF because he knows I have baseball for Windows and actually do have that league. So what I've been like, I'm hoping he'll do someday is, after he plays through it again, what I would do if I had that physical set, Paul, is I would take all the position players, right? So catcher, first base, blah, 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 pitchers, shuffle everybody up and do a blind draft and play. That's what I would do with that set. I after playing through, I would do that. Yeah, because why not have Jimmy Fox and Christy Mathewson on the same team? How cool would that be?
To be honest,
for that.
That's what I did with the Cooperstown set from Play. I did that. I dealt them out. I put all the positions, and I drew at least one or two catches for each team, and covering each. But apart from that, it was a blind draft, and it's the team that actually won my whole tournament was just amazing. They were the outsiders, and And I'll tell you, just let me tell you some of the players on that roster. If
Please do.
just hold on, I'm just bringing it up here.
Yeah.
The roster, they were the outsiders of, you had Davy Johnson lead off, you had Ken Griffey, you had Jim Tomei, Larry
Oh,
Walker,
nice.
Ernie Banks, Larry Brown. Yeah, they're all great players, but
Right.
they won it. They in the championship series. That was it. They were allowed to blind draft one pitcher and one batter before the championship series, and they got to the championship series. And one of the people they blind drafted was Eddie Gadel.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Eddie
yeah,
Gato, cool.
and he came on 4 times in that championship series and got 3 walks. But in game 7, wow, it was amazing. It came down to the 9th inning, and there was a man on first, and it was tied one all, bottom of the 9th. Eddie Gadel comes on, draws the walk, drives the man to pushes the man to second, so it's first and second.
Right.
Hank Greenberg came on to pinch hit. He'd
Uh-oh.
been cold for the last 5 games. He was 0 for like 17 or something,
Uh-huh.
and then hits a long single to win the whole season 2-1. But all thanks to Eddie Gadel, putting him in scoring position. So all of this commentary in my mind, I think I did a video on it actually, but I think I did. I think it was not just a few weeks ago. But by the way, what can you say? Eddie Gadel, and the pitcher that they blind drafted was Satchel Paige.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That is
So
great.
you see what I mean? I'm going to post this roster on Facebook today because I
All
just
right.
think I've got all the pictures up here, and it's just
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah. To think that they beat all the rosters with Babe Ruth on, and in the championship series they were up against Mantle, Mattingly. I was happy. I was happy. I'm going to send you on Facebook a screenshot of that roster. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'd love it. I would love it.
I've sent it to you. So when you get time, have a look.
I would definitely have a look. I hit a few comments here. So cousin Ken says we have family in here that wants the replays exact, and that's okay. It's part of what we do. Personally, he says as I get older, I'm joining the what ifs more. Parallel League. Believe me, I've got to PayPal him some money just because we're talking about this sort of thing. I load players into Excel from Baseball Reference and then do a rand between command 1 to 24 to assign them to teams. And I've done
that's a good idea.
That's super, super cool. And I've shown on this channel, I'll have to show again how to do using the baseball history collection, how to narrow down draft years if you want to do a complete blind draft and then play it. It did that game drafts so well. It's incredible. And I hope Craig Harris will someday have a sort of draft mode. Hopefully Pocket Pennant Run turning into a monster, and I love it. But I know that's a feature that you way down the line. But that being said, and Todd B giving Ken the thumbs up.
It's not that far down the line. That is my avenue.
Oh man, that would be, well, the big thing I'm waiting for, of course, is a schedule generator. But
that's number one. In fact, I'll be honest with you. While you've been chatting, I've been talking to Craig about schedules as well. I'm multi-failing, as my wife says. But yeah, because the thing is, there's a lot of schedules out there, and I love Digital Diamond Baseball. I do, but I hate their schedule generator in that.
It's deplorable. I'm sorry, Mark, but it is. It's bad.
The only way I use it is by adding one. I create my own schedule and then just add one game at a time. To the schedule, because that's the only way I can be interested in it, because it's just, and there's a lot of the schedules out there that don't work. So I said to Craig that I think the thing is to start off by having like 3 or 4 set schedules that people can choose from,
Hmm.
then maybe you could substitute your teams in that, and that'll be a start off point, to get to,
Uh-huh.
to get going, and then I suppose it'll evolve organically.
Oh, it sounds like a blast. And see,
I
that's
think
the thing, because you can, I mean, look, I realize time is precious for everybody. AP, welcome in, AP. Time is precious for everybody, and I think for a lot of people, maybe. And again, I'm gonna repeat this throughout this. I'm not, and I didn't know what else to put on the tin up there, so I just thought let's break the paradigm, because there is a paradigm. We and I think, and this is not just a cards and dice thing; it's a digital thing too. I know guys, they buy so like I'm one of the Egypts that over the years I bought everything for Action PC Baseball except Pacific Coast League. I'm not really interested in playing minor league baseball. Nothing wrong with it, but it's too many major league that I want to do. But guys will say, well, I just, I bought these seasons. These are the seasons I'm interested in, which is cool. That's cool. But why not even take those seasons? So let's say you're just an 80s baseball person. Why not have another project going, or maybe it's just a little mini thing, maybe a little 81 game schedule where you've taken all those 80s players, created fictional team names, draft them the hell onto it, and play it out. Because you might find that some players that, again, because of those preconceived notions, well, so and so he's gonna do this. Although Action PC Baseball has an alternate reality mode, which can kind of break you of that habit, and it's brilliant, right? But even within that wheelhouse of whatever your wheelhouse might be. So for me, it's dead ball baseball. For other guys, it's whatever. But you might find yourself engrossed in this narrative. Look at what Paul was just talking about here, gents, about Eddie Gadel, about Satchel Paige, and how these sort of outliers, right, doing this thing and creating this awesome thing. And I guess what I'm saying is that for the cards and dice players, a lot of you have many seasons. If I would ask here, cousin Ken, how many APBA seasons do you think you own? You've been playing APBA since before God invented hair, man. So, you know what I'm saying, cousin? If you read the mission statement of the project I sent you, you get the narrative concept rather than the as-play. Absolutely. And I should say that, guys, we're gonna have Ken Castro talk about this amazing project that is finally coming to fruition that he started planning a few years ago. So, Ken, I don't want to steal too much thunder about that. But this is what Ken is doing in this project. Maybe someday we can devote some time. I want to devote more time to that. Would be a perfect sequel to what we're talking about, because Ken is taking a project that started out as kind of, he wanted to recreate Albert Goodwill Spalding's baseball tour, right? So Spalding decided he wanted to bring baseball to the world. Well, now it's becoming popular. I mean, Ireland is picking up baseball. Great Britain has baseball, man. It's so cool. Italy has professional baseball. The Netherlands, Australia has seriously good baseball. But in Spalding's time, he failed to convert one country. So, but Ken got deep into even researching the train tickets and the logistics and everything. But what it's grown into now is just incredible. Todd B is doing this amazing project where these are themes, where he's making themed sort of teams. So one of them was like managers, and you guys probably heard me the other night. I'm like, don't forget to add in Fred Clark, who is a great player and a great manager. And I love that guys are doing this, and I don't think that it hurts in any way. It doesn't impact season replay. I think, in my humble opinion, guys, family, I think it augments the enjoyment of this hobby to break the mold even just a little bit. And I'm happy to, people want to debate it, and that's cool. Netherlands have a good baseball national team. So when I lived there, that was the year that I forget the year that they won the baseball Baseball Classic. Was that 2011 or 2012? So I went from Ireland to there, or went from Ireland to here, then back to Europe, and then to the Netherlands, and they won the World Baseball Classic, which was amazing. It was amazing. So, what I want to show you guys here is how you can do some of those things that I was showing in Baseball for Windows. So, of course, if you want to, you can just do you can do a season replay in Pure Sim Baseball, and there it all is, going back to, well, not all of it, but 1900 up to 1914. But the real heart of this game is this bad boy right here, is the sandbox mode. We're going to turn off finances because I'm tired of finances. And what you can do in this game. So just right here, create what you want. What if you wanted to have two teams and you wanted to try, because we've shown the site a lot of times, which I love the site, backtobaseball.com. The problem with backtobaseball.com, though, is you're going to get this lineup, and it's going to run 5,000 games, which is awesome. But you're only going to be able to see how, let's say, the 1961 Yankees and the 1975 Reds would fare over a series of 5,000 games, and it will show you the results of the first 25 and give you the win probability for each team. But it's not taking into account that entire rotation of either team. Whereas with this, and I'll get to you in 1 second, because I could take two teams right now, set up a league with just two teams, full, right, and using a full rotation, full everything, and I could do a cross-era comparison, normalizing to whatever I want to. So a project that actually could be pretty big, but from 2 teams to 30 teams, anything that you want to kind of set up here. And this is just screen 1. Let me get to Ken's. This is May Cousin Basic. My favorite 19th century baseball players advised a summer barnstorming tour across the United States, playing all sorts of ball clubs at iconic minor league and forgotten ballparks across the land. After each game, there's a written narrative, and I got Ken's been sending me these narratives, and
I love that. I love that too. That's fantastic.
They're brilliant, and talk about thinking way outside the box.
Wow!
Yeah, it is. So the whole idea of the Spalding Tour now evolving into something that wasn't where because I think it would have been fascinating to kind of try to replicate what Spalding was trying to do back then, but now doing this is super cool. And so you guys know Ken is a gifted journalist, a hell of a writer, and his son is a brilliant writer.
I'd love to see some of those. I'd love to see some of those narratives that he's written.
There you go. You guys got to hook up there on Facebook. You got to.
We are friends on Facebook.
Cousin, you got to Paul. You're going to be engrossed. It's incredible, and you're there. You are there. It's not like you're just reading an account. The way Ken writes is incredible. It says, for instance, Cap Anson refuses to play in the opening portion of the tour against Negro League clubs. So Ken bringing in some history there, because we know we know the story of Cap Anson. Bada boom, huh? So let's pick. I'm not going to create everything. I just want to show you guys just. And remember, this is freely available. It's on the Discord, guys. Go look for it. All right. So we can do here, you just click a bunch of states, regions. You can name the leagues whatever you want. It's not going to matter what you pick in here. Just pick a bunch of random stuff because you're going to change it up later. And I'm going to show you different ways to change it up. So nobody cares, as Sonny said in The Bronx Tale. Nobody cares. One of my favorite movies, by the way. I'm not going to get off into mob movie land because I know Cousin will be. I'll lose Cousin because he doesn't want to hear about movies. But Paul, go ahead. I'm kind of just doing what I'm doing here because I'm kind of demonstrating just.
Oh no, I'm okay.
What's available?
I'm okay for a few more minutes because I've got to go off to physio in about half an hour. So.
Okay. All right,
But
so we have a bunch of fake teams here. Doesn't mean anything. We're going to go next. All right. Do I want to overwrite the existing pure sim association? Yeah, I don't care. I'm just going to overwrite it. Okay, so we're just gonna be the God, what's all this with these Houston? Let's be the Las Vegas Buzz, because if you're a magician, you're gonna obviously want to do Las Vegas. That doesn't matter. Now we get to this next part, guys, and I'm not going to do a full demonstration of this, but I really want you to see what's available in these different baseball games to create what you want. So, for instance, here we're going to leave injuries, whatever, because I'm never going to play anything in this. We're going to allow computer AI trades for this one. Player photos, blah 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 blah. No DH, damn right, no DH. We are going to import historical player stats, and I'm going to append the source here, and I'm going to show you why I'm going to do that in a moment. Okay, we can pick the size of the organization that we want. We're just going to leave this at, 35 players. Let's go next. Okay, so it's creating our association. And really, so here we go. We could continue, and this will go into fictional players. But let's go to real players. Okay. And there's so many ways that you can do this. If you wanted to be meticulous and you've decided, and in fact, I've been thinking about a channel challenge here if somebody would like to do it, because there was mention at one time about wanting to do a head-to-head game of Action PC Baseball. So I'm going to throw an idea out here for folks. If you'd be willing to do it, 7-game series, fun competition where we could have part of the chat managing one team, part of the chat managing the other team. What I'm asking is I'll devise, or we'll get together, we'll figure it out. Like, say 3 of us will pick, we'll draft players from any time in baseball history, the best we can think of against 35 of your best, and let's play them. Let's play out a series. I think it would be fun. And this way, and it's not going to be like this nasty competition, but let's put our baseball knowledge to work. Doesn't have to be the best. It can be whoever you want. But I think it'd be fun to say, okay, field your best team. Field your best team.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
I think you just get people, kind of involved and stuff like that. And it's like, no, steal, and just let people, no, why? And maybe that gets us into a good discussion about baseball tactics and strategy. All right. So that being said, if I wanted to put one of my favorite players on here, Jimmy Fox, I just type Jimmy Fox, right? What's going to look for Jimmy Fox? And I can just pick a year here from Jimmy Fox, whatever I want to do here. So let's pick a good year for Jimmy Fox, and that's going to be 1932. And I can import him. I'm not going to allow duplicate players, however. So I'm going to import him. All right. And he's now a free agent. Okay. But the other thing that I can do with this team, because I have all of these fictional teams, I could actually take each player that I want and just draft and just put them on any team that I want. Other thing I can do is this. Let's say, okay, we need a good second baseman here. Roger Swansby. Like, I really had to think about that, right? Don't worry, I'll do a few modern players for you there, Paul. I will. Okay, so here's the Raja, and
he was on my table. He was on my table yesterday as well.
There we go. In 1922, come on, 401 average, 42 home runs. I'll take that. So what I could do here is I could actually put him on the Chicago team. Paul's big Chicago Cubs fan. Boom. So
I've got Pure Sim. I think I got it because of you, but I've not used it yet.
Yeah, it's fun. And the reason go ahead, please.
Is it all real players? There's no fictional players in this.
If I would have skipped this step, it would have done fictional players.
You don't like fictional players, though, do you?
I do not.
Now, can I just? Are you okay if I cover that point for a sec?
I am absolutely fine with that. Yeah. Go ahead.
When I came into History Maker Baseball, and the thought of playing fictional players, I just found that laughable. I mean, I thought it was wow. I thought it was some abomination of the hobby. Really, I didn't understand. I thought it. Well, I might as well be honest. I thought it was childish.
Hmm.
Now, get this: 50% of my play is fictional. Is fictional, and the reason is we're talking about stories.
Hmm.
When you've played a couple of seasons with those players, they're as alive as anybody. And in my world, at the
Hmm.
in the postseason, which is always November and December,
Hmm.
those fictional teams, the best 8 teams in my universe, play each other, and that doesn't matter whether they're fictional teams or real. They play against each other, and it's so cool to see the
Hmm.
fictional players. Yeah, I think we need to open your mind, Beatles. We do.
Okay.
We've got we've got We've got. I'm going to make you play a fictional team, and you
Oh
can challenge.
man.
I'm going to challenge you with it. Yeah, because you've got Ken there writing 19th century fictional players, and he's living that world, and
I
you
live in that
could
world.
too.
I
So if
could.
you try, you could, and it is enjoyable. It,
All right, you keep working on me, Scouser. You keep working on me.
no, but you've got. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter, does it? We all play different ways, don't we?
Of course we do.
Some play 100% fictional. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I've got to be honest.
And see, that's
And
my thing, I guess, Paul, is if I may, is for me, because I'm a very much an all or nothing person, right? I go all in on something or whatever. And so my thing is when I talk to guys like Ken, and all of you, everybody in this family that we have here, you guys are all like baseball mavens, all of you, right? And I feel like I'm
yeah,
playing catch up. Although I've been a baseball fan all my life, I'm 97, but I love baseball. And all right, I'm 96. I lied, but anyhow, but I look over at this baseball library I have, and I look at what's available, and I'm thinking there's so much Major League Baseball players, teams, stories I don't know. And so between reading and researching this gaming is such an adjunct for me that I'm like, but if I'm playing fictional players, I'm not learning about these other players like Cy Williams, for instance, that I learned more about thanks to the Field of Dreams League. I didn't know a lot. I knew the name, right? And so that's my thing. It's like, yeah, but I might,
no,
I could be persuaded to try
no, I
something,
understand your
maybe,
point of. I understand
you
your
know.
point of view as well. It's like there's always something new to learn in this hobby. It's like I'm
Ugh,
going to get those books that you sent me about,
oh my
19th
God, yeah.
century. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's so much. The one thing that we've got in common is we all love baseball, don't we? And now
Yes,
whether that is dead ball baseball or whether it's Ghost Runner and DH baseball. I mean,
sure,
to me,
sure, yeah.
I know people. I watch modern baseball, but to me, the DH is the devil. I mean,
Yes, it is.
I've got to be honest because if you've got the DH, you may as well just go and lie down and manage. There's no decisions to be made. I
Right.
couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I watched the Brewers and Cubs game the other day. I can't remember the
Hmm.
Brewers pitcher. The Brewers pitcher. He's called an opener. They have openers now. Like
Oh, I hate that too, Paul.
he comes on. He'll only face the first 3 batters, and then if the first walk or hit he gives up after that, he's taken out. And what?
I
What?
know, right?
What am I
Could you
watching?
imagine? Could you imagine telling Bob Gibson, oh, "That's it. You face 3 hitters, Gibby. You're done."
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, I had to physically go. I had to go on my table yesterday and physically drag Three Finger Brown off the mound. He
Exactly.
refused to. He refused to come.
Yeah.
I had to rugby tackle him and get him off, and then he was not happy. But
See,
this guy walked
where's the
up.
scrum? Where's the scrum?
But this Brewers pitcher walked off the mound like he just pitched a complete game. Oh, I've done 5 batters, brilliant. I was like, what?
I don't
But
even I don't even want to understand it. I
but
don't.
I've got into people who defend it to me, who love it, who love the Ghost Runners, and so. But there's something for everybody, isn't there?
So I
listen,
can't stand the Ghost Runner, but I will say this, if I may. So Robert, RGO Network, did bring up something that not that I could live with, but something that he's proposed that I think that would be a compromise if one likes such things. He said, if you're going to use a Ghost Runner, don't put him in scoring position, put him on at first. That, even though I hate the rule, if you're going to use that, that makes a little bit more sense to me, because then right, because you got a guy on in scoring position, and if it's the last guy that made the last out or whatever, he becomes the Ghost Runner, whatever. I realize some people say, well, it's really exciting because you could get somebody really fast on there and it's going to score from second in a single. But here's the thing that I have problems with it, my friend, with the Ghost Runner. What's the stat? How'd the guy get on there? Because if it's going to be a walk, that affects the pitcher. Was it there's no stat. He's there.
He doesn't exist. He just scores a run. If he scores, that's it.
Right. And so
the pitcher has given up a run. I mean, it is crazy, but
the pitcher didn't give up that double, is what I'm saying, right? So it's stupid.
Full disclosure now. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't have to go to I won't have to go to confession this week. Here's my disclosure. I have 18 projects on the go baseball. So for my 2024 season, I use the Ghost Runner because I don't want to go back. Because I don't go past 11 innings, you see, so it means I get a result within the 11 innings.
Tell you what, Paul, ego te absolvo. There you are. You're good now.
Listen, I'm going to have to go now because my physio is
all right, lad.
But fantastic to talk to you. I'll just
always.
Before I go, just 1 minute about PPR, if I can, just one.
I'll even bring it up on the screen. Boom, there we go.
I just wanted to say that one thing that people, including yourself, said there's still bugs in this game, but you're never going to get any game that's no bugs. Any computer game.
Right.
We know that Digital Diamond Baseball. I love that. How many years has that been going? 15 is it, or something like that? And there's still many bugs in that game. But
yes.
The difference is in that game that if it comes across a bug, it doesn't crash.
Right.
So since July last year, I've been working with Craig to eliminate crashes, not just bugs. So we're still going to get bugs because I'll give you an indication. Craig said to me yesterday, okay, last thing to check on this. Can you check all double plays, all base situations and all outs? I said, that's 400 and odd combinations. I'm not loading up 400.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I said, I'll take 6 at random, and I checked those and they worked. But someone is going to use that 400th one next week and tell me there's a bot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost.
So my thing with that is and I hope Craig doesn't take any, there's no any umbrage about that. I guess because I let myself get carried away because I love pocket pennant run so much, and I'm trying to and maybe I'm just preaching too hard, but I'm just trying to say people, this is a great game, but then people say, yeah, but I'm going to wait till the ball. It's like, well, yeah, they're, and you're right, and I'm guilty of that. I'm like, oh, because the other day I'm doing a game, and boom, it was that illegal play, right? Remember that?
That's fixed now. That's fixed. So that was a great one. But what I'm saying is, really, we should be saying every single thing we do in this game is not what it was designed for. So
you're right.
Craig invented it just for pocket pennant run basic, and his mistake was releasing all those databases. So he gave people a taste of what could come, and
yes,
and I was his devil really, because I came along and said this could be used to score any game. This could be used to score any, and every single thing he's done since then, and everything the first thing I did when I got the game, I pressed every button randomly on the screen. And it crashed. He said, but why would anyone do that? I said, because that's what gamers do. You're a coder. I'm a gamer. I'm pressing every button to see what it does. Well, I didn't think. So a lot of the crashes are because he didn't know that people would press. So I'm trying to, and like I said, we are 97%. Because I go on that screen and I press every button in every combination. but someone could still press a combination next week, and that's
Oh, sure.
fantastic. That's fantastic. I think that's what I need to get to. That people say this is brilliant. I'll send it to Paul. We'll get it fixed today because that's what we do.
Oh, yeah.
And then
It's I just wanted to say that each iteration has been just more and more solid.
what Craig's working on now is
Wow. Yeah.
what he's working on now. Schedules is coming next that we're going to work on, and some sort of stats package. Obviously, me and him will have robust conversations about what that's going to be.
Sure.
And I mean, the stats package could be an Excel export and with his template, and then the game itself manages the leaders, so we have proper leaderboards. I don't know yet. And the other thing is, there's going to be custom dice in there, so you can design your own dice for any baseball game.
Oh,
Like
are
the
you
monster.
serious? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
He's just been producing that this week, so that's
No way.
That's not, yeah.
Oh man, that's it.
Yes.
Okay, so Sports Illustrated baseball is going to be a thing now. Nice.
Yeah.
So Paul, check the screen there, by the way, my friend, please. From Ken.
Fantastic, Ken. That's brilliant. Thank you, Ken. I'll make sure I go through that when I get back from physio later.
You're gonna love it, mate. I'm telling you.
No, don't worry. I'll love to read that because I'm mostly about stories now instead of just pure stats like I used to be. I used to be obsessed. I'd spend days.
Sweet.
I'd spend hours every day compiling stats and looking at them. But sorry, so that's all I wanted to say, really. They're the things that's coming next. But I just wanted to thank everyone because the amount of love that Craig has got now, and all coders, you know what they're like. They're all very needy. They all need love. They all need love. And he thought that everyone hated him, but
oh my God, no! You kidding me? I mean, look, they're tossers. We understand them, so
yeah,
we get it.
But he's working hard every day, and he's working through. As soon as I get a crash, I send it to him. He works on it and fixes it. But we'll get there, and we get to the stage where there's no crashes, but there'll still be odd bugs. Like someone said yesterday, how do I score a 7.62 at the plate? And I said, that's a good one. I'll test it because he's playing ABPA, which I've just bought, by the way. I need to stop buying baseball games. I've bought eight this year so far.
No, it's good. It's good for your health. Trust me.
I'm picking these up when I go to Denver next month. Right, I'm rabbiting now because I've got to go. But
all right,
thanks, Joe, as ever, and everybody.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right,
if
mate.
you need any questions or anything about PPR, just send me a DM and I'll help anybody straight away. So,
all right, cheers, my friend. Talk soon.
Take care. Great show.
Thank you, man. All right, so guys, some of the other things you can do here really quickly. With this, you don't want to go just by players. You don't have to. You could bring in entire years if you wanted to. So for Ken, let's go to 1884, and it's going to load in. And here is everybody that played in 1884, and I could import all of these players into the free agent pool, right? So think about the possibilities, or maybe I can just select by holding like the control key. I could just start selecting just random players. Imagine that, just being totally random. I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm watching here. So I know that right now I'm going to import these selected players, and I'm just going to put them in the free agent pool. I have no idea what I'm creating here, but it's something it's kind of like if you shuffle a deck of cards, right? So that's 52 factorial. And so we brought in, there's 10 players in there now. 52 factorial. So here's the thing, guys. You take a deck of cards and shuffle it, and this will blow your mind. That deck of cards has never been in that order ever, and it never will be again. And if you were to actually take a deck of cards, shuffle it, put it in a case, take another case, shuffle them, so on and so forth, you would need the space of the size of the Milky Way to accommodate every. There's an article I'll put up for you guys sometime to show you. So that's just 52 objects. Now we're talking these massive databases like you have in Pure Sim, Pocket Pennant Run, Out of the Park, and seasons that you own. Imagine if you owned only 10 cards and dice seasons, and you just mashed them up and did whatever. What you could do, the narratives that you could create, the things that you will see. Maybe you want to just pick a team from somewhere. So let's say I want to throw the 1935 Chicago Cubs into the mix. Well, it's going to load all the Chicago Cubs, and I can just import them again anywhere I want. I think you guys get the idea here. This is very, very similar to what the Fan Park Encyclopedia does for baseball for Windows. So now there's two options that we have up here. Again, nothing wrong with season replays, but you have so many more options to create something fun, to create something unique. And all these games, too, allow you to edit players. You can't edit, and so there's not a knock on cards and dice, but something that obviously digital can do is that, we're going to go ahead and close this now. I've made my point, is that, and there we go. By the way, these are the players that have come in so far. Got a long ways to go if we were to do this. Position players, there's pitchers, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do any of this stuff. And we can keep importing and stuff like that. So it's all here. Okay, let's move along. We're going to go ahead and jump out of this. I have so many of these demos of this, I got to actually stop. All right, our next one is the one we've been playing a lot lately on the channel, is Diamond Mine Baseball. Okay, so we can go ahead and close baseball for Windows now. Back there. Bye-bye. All right. Steam's up. You know what's coming. Okay, so in Diamond Mine Baseball, there's a lot of great free homebrews for this thing, 1871 through 1926. You buy this game, you can get a ton of seasons, download them free. Imagine Sports is totally cool with that. But some of the products that they also give you, there's a huge, it's 8 or 9 volumes, baseball's all-time greatest team spread out over 8 volumes. You've got all the all-star games you could buy, the all-time great players, volume 1 and volume 2, which I think is a must-have. You should just buy those two. And I think all-time great players, volume 1 comes with the game. I'm not sure. And I know it's very sparse. I'm going to get Gene Grabowski here. He's going to school me in this kind of stuff. But we go to Organizer here, and right now this is volume 1 of all-time great players. These are the teams, all the teams in there for both leagues that are set up. And remember that these are 2 leagues set up for each one, and we can see what they are. Right, there's all the parks, there's all the players. Look at this, man. I mean, it's just here. I'm sorry, players. Look at this. Tell me what you could do with all of these, because you can move players from database to database. You can see that there are players in this file not on any teams at all, and these aren't just no-namers. There's some good players that just didn't make the cut, but you got them here. And I couldn't even imagine the size of this number, that even if you were talking about a permutation, which in baseball combinations make more sense. Another way to do it, I can import from anything that I want, anything that's installed. And I don't have everything installed here that I have for this game. So you have the tools to do it. Give it a shot. So Diamond Mine is one that you can do it in, and we probably should do a Diamond Mine. Look, we've been talking about Pocket Pennant Run. This one is massive. This little baby full-fledged baseball sim that fits in the palm of your hand. You know, right? Look at this, man. Add teams. You got all these databases. You can create a fantasy team, which, for those of you that play fictional players, there you go. Create a blank team. Start populating them with what you want. You can add teams from the league database. Let's click go. All right, and you have all these databases to choose from. You want to mix Japanese players, Negro leaguers, and just 1920 to 2024. Imagine what you could do. Just absolutely incredible. So there's another one. Just trying to get folks to see that you don't just have to buy a game to play 1977. If it gives you joy, good for you. Let's bring up the little brother, of strategy baseball. So of Pure Sim. We're gonna get out of the demos here soon. So I'm not gonna demo every game I have. We'll be here all bloody nights, and I don't think anybody wants that. I know I don't. So strategy baseball. Strategy baseball is a little bit more limited than Pure Sim, but there's still a lot you can do. Crack. Okay, so if I load an association here, I happened just the other night to set up a 1986 exhibition, and if I can find it, I'll load it up. And is this it? Oh hell, I don't know. I have to go in and clean out these things. That is the problem. If you're one of those people like me, and you like to do what ifs, this is what happens to all your baseball directories. It's kind of crazy stuff. But I do know I put 1986 in here, ready to go. Boy, I need to do better renaming, don't I? Yeah, I do. Hang on. I got my nose pressed up here. Let's just take 1975. Did I do anything with 1975? Crack. So there we go. So this right now is the 1975 season, but I don't have to make this the 1975 season. Dump everybody into the draft pool. Just let the computer make all kinds of crazy trades. Do what you want. You've got so many to borrow from out of the park baseball. Infinite playgrounds. So Ken Castro is not a digital baseball player, but what he's doing and what he's creating, he's is taking a lot more work than something like this. But I would love to do something similar in the way that that he's doing. In fact, I'm just noticing this one. So if you guys see here, these are real players, but they are not on their correct teams. There's a little thing that if you forget to check it, and it was actually this wonderful bit of serendipity, that it will draft the players, but it won't draft them onto the proper teams unless you tell them to. So this thing could automatically, infinitely create an almost infinite number of alternate 1975s that you could play. So this will also, you can also just play any two teams in history against each other up to a 9-game series. But that's a little bit of like wonderfulness. So this 1975 series or 1975 is not the real 1975. So we're going to jump out of here, quit, and we're going to finish off with 2 more. So obviously, or a couple more. So I'm going to bring it up full screen here, just so you guys can see. It's coming up. It's coming up, just like Paul McCartney would say. It's coming up. And let's make it full screen here. Make sure my mouse is where it should be. Alt Enter. This is, of course, and a big update coming this summer. This is Full Count Baseball, one of the pivotal early games. Imagine what you can do here. You can create anything you want. This comes with every season. This game is free. I'm not going to put this. Just go to lhgames.net and grab it. And for you basketball, football fans and all that, he's got all those great, you got to get used to the little DOS interface, but pretty cool. You can do team management, organization, create what you want right here. So you want to try something for free, try it for free. Little trick, Alt Enter is what puts you into full screen and gets you eventually out of it, and then you can quit the game. All right. The next one should need no introduction as far as creating what you want. This one, unlike what we've been showing, you do have to buy seasons for this thing. Or do you? No, you don't. Show you why. I did. knowing I'll never play 2009. I don't care. So here, this is free, what I'm showing you here, thanks to the goodness of Mr. Steve Tate. This is the National League version of it. These are 5-year franchises, National League, going way back to the old-timey days. And what an amazing draft league. In fact, Steve said he really designed this to be a kind of draft league where you would pull these teams out or players. So I can click on here and get the get the Giants here, the New York Giants from 1933 to 1937. And I could right now play them in an exhibition against any one of these other teams that I wanted to. I could draft players out of here. I could dump everybody in this massive file that Steve Tate has created into one big draft and just absolutely go nuts. And this is free. And Steve Carded rated all of these players on his own. So something to think about there, guys. Because while all these players, right, would have been on within this year span, you could do that, all right. But it's the other things too that are the baseball history collection. I'm not going to load because it just takes forever. The baseball history collection is something that's amazing. Now I'm going to show you an American League thing here. This is a product from Dave Cook Sports. All right. So this is one half of baseball's top 160 teams. Again, think about the kinds of projects that you could create with all these teams here. You do well, no, Todd. You don't need another project because yours is going to be like just bloody incredible. You and cousin Ken are going to be taking it all over and doing it up right. Just loving what's going on. So, you know, what I've basically been doing with this is the same as with Steve Tate's. Just kind of playing these teams against each other because I'm trying to think of what I want to do. What sort of what if can I create from these great teams in American League history? And I have the National League file. It comes as one file. So there is that. So I know I'm starting to beat everybody over the head with this. Season replays are cool, but you're missing a lot of other cool stuff here as well. Teams that you can explore, right? Okay, I know about Ted Williams, but what about some of the teams that he was on? Wow. Okay, what about these 1949 Boston Red Sox? Well, holy hell, I recognize a lot more names than I realized. There's more than just, there's Vern Stevens. I've heard of him. There's Dom DiMaggio, right? Well, I wonder how they're going to do against whoever your favorite team might be. And since we're just mucking about with the American League, let's say, what about these 1924 Washington Senators? What if I wanted to take just these two teams, extract them, throw them into a draft pool that's just these two teams, and let the computer draft two teams for me, and let me play out a 7-game series? Tiny projects, if you wanted to. So yeah, it's just about thinking outside the box. Other games I can show. The last one, of course. Do I even have to bother bringing it up? I will, because this is the one that lets you do it all, baby. And I'm not going to boot the game up. I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to let it sit there and be happy. Out of the Park Baseball 26. Pretty much any project you can imagine, you can do right here. This is going to be the platform for Ned McGreevy. We'll be talking about Saturday night. All right, time to close this up. But I want to recap some things. I have nothing whatsoever against season replays. As I said, I'm doing 1934 and 2015 offline. Both of those I'm doing in Out of the Park Go. I'm doing 1911 in Baseball for Windows, which I haven't done that one in a while, but I'm doing that. You play what you play and play the way that you want to. Some people, as Cousin Ken mentioned earlier, they strictly season replays, and I know of at least one guy in this community that will even look at newspaper box scores. Of course, if he had pocket pennant run, he wouldn't have to. But he will bring, and if it said this guy came in to pinch hit, that's who's coming in to pinch hit. He's not going to deviate from that. And that's cool. That is absolutely fine. Does that give him joy? More power to him, man. But I'm hoping that maybe you kind of use what you have in this amazing hobby, cards and dice, digital, and take that little step and say, okay, maybe it's not going to be so much that season replay. Maybe the little step is I'm gonna replay a season from my favorite franchise. It's a season I don't know. Maybe it's just that. These developers are creating these incredible games. I haven't gone through every game I have here. Again, I don't want to stay all night and do this. I didn't show Dombrov, Old Time Baseball, tons of other things that are on here. And you guys, how many years we've all been in this hobby. And again, I'd love to know how many seasons of APBA Cousin Ken has. And he also plays other games as well, Fall Classic, whatever. So that's kind of it as far as that paradigm. And Paul gave me a lesson. Maybe I should rethink my rather intransigent position on playing with fictional players. So you may see something like that coming up. Not soon, though. The Scousers got to work a little bit harder. All right, guys, it looks like viewership's dropping down. We were pretty good. I was going to do a game, but we're down to 8 people, and I don't think probably people are going to be in the mood for a game, although I'm in the mood to do one. But what time is it? Let me see. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. That's not so bad. Yeah, I'm going to do a game. If anybody hangs around, I'm going to do a game. Not in here, though. I'm not going to do this game. Again, I love you. I love you to death, Action PC, but right now I'm hooked on this bad boy. So let's do a baseball game, and we're going to do some Digital Diamond, or not Digital Diamond, Diamond Mine Baseball. And I didn't show Digital Diamond Baseball. Holy shit. You can do whatever you want in there, too. So let's do a scheduled game. And you guys can always catch this after the fact. All right. So tonight we're going to see an iteration of the Dodgers against an iteration of the Yankees. Playing some American League Baseball. And I have no idea who's going to be here. Welcome to Yankee Stadium. So this is this is going to be Yankees from the looks like late 40s, early 50s. Temperature at game time is 37 degrees. Holy frijoles, huh? And the wind is blowing right to left 3 miles per hour. And the sky is partly cloudy. Cold day in the Big Apple. All right, what do we got here? So for the Los Angeles Dodgers, we got Wills, Gilliam, and Snyder, Moon, Fairley, and Parker, Lefevre, Roseboro, and Koufax. For the Bronx Bombers, Tresh, McDougald, Maris, Mantle, Bauer, Howard, Carey, Pepitone, and Rashi. Hey, we got 2 eye ties. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, good night. Thank you, Todd, for coming in. Appreciate you. Sleep well, my friend. And catch you around the batting cage, brother. Keep on that awesome project you're doing. Please. All right, Mario Wills to lead it off here for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Vic Rashi is ready to deal. Elston Howard down into the crouch, and let's play some ball. We are ready to go now. Full count on Mario Wills. Rashi comes to the plate, and Wills went, and he is rung up and out of there. So 1 away for the Dodgers. Brings up Jim Gilliam, made the trip from Brooklyn to L.A. Pitch on the way, and swinging a bouncer to Carey at third base, the throw over. This one bounces. Nice scoop by Joe Pepitone at first. Batting 5-3, 2 down. Wasn't he the guy that I just remember seeing an image of the book, and it's a baseball, and it's got a woman's like a kiss on it on the ball. So Joe Pepitone, what a guy, huh? Here he is, the Duke of Flatbush up now, Mr. Snyder. Vic Rashi has the sign, the 1-2 pitch, and strike 3 swinging. So tough breaking ball there. Out number 3 here in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. The LA Dodgers, nothing. New York Yankees coming to bat. Tom Tresh leading off here for the Yanks, the shortstop. Sandy Koufax, the left arm of God, is on the mound. And here we go. Koufax toes the rubber. And the 2-2 pitch. This one ripped to left. Base hit. Tresh not fooled at all by that off-speed pitch. So Tresh aboard. And bring up Gil McDougall. Plays second base here for the Yanks. Here's the delivery from Koufax. Tresh has the signals of steal, but he didn't get a good jump. Koufax misses way above the letters, so ball one. I don't think he missed by accident there. They were expecting Tresh to run. All right, McDougall back in the box. Koufax stretches the 1-2 pitch to McDougall. Fastball inside, strike three called. McDougall bending out of the way, and he can't believe that call. Sandy Koufax is going to get that call all the time. All right, batting the third slot, right fielder Roger Maris. Rare Yankee game on this channel. 1-2 offering, called, strike three, and Maris strikes out. So here we go. Maris doesn't like the call, but it won't change the outcome. All right. So here we go now. Bottom of the first inning. Nope, I'm sorry, that's my fault. We're just at 2 outs. And here's the Mick batting from the right side against the lefty Koufax. Tresh moves off first, the 1-2 offering, and Mantle reaching low, scoops a fly ball out to Duke Snider, and that will retire the side. So the Yanks manage a hit, and that's it. And we go to the top of the second inning, and it's the Yankees and the Dodgers, no score. All right, Wally Moon, Ron Fairley, and Wes Parker due up for the left coast Dodgers. Moon, 2-1 pitch, fastball. This one is belted very deep center field, but the wrong place to hit it. Going back is Mantle, and he'll take it in for the out. So 461 out there. That's a deep center field in Old Yankee Stadium. Here's Ron Fairley. Payoff pitch on the way. Bouncer to Carey's left, and he throws Fairley out fairly well after making a nice play moving to his left. So 2 up, 2 down now for Wes Parker. I always think of Fess Parker, that old actor, right? 3-1 pitch. This one just missing outside, and Parker draws the walk. All right, we've got a couple hardcores hanging in here. All right, here's Jim Lefevre. 0-2 pitch from Vic Rashi. Hit down to second baseman McDougall. The throw goes over first, and that will retire the side. Score that one 4-3. Bottom of the second, we are still scoreless here at Yankee Stadium. And it's going to be Hank Bauer to lead things off here. Bauer, the left fielder for these Yankees. Payoff pitch coming. This one is lined out of the reach of Maury Wills and into left field for a hit. So Bauer is aboard and brings up the catcher, Elston Howard. A little baseball field near Yankee Stadium, Elston Howard Field. 0-1 pitch. Koufax kicks and fires long way back into right field. Wally Moon sprinting back, checks to see where it is at, and handles it for the first out of the inning. So big loud out there now as Andy Carey strides to the plate in the box on the right-hand side for the Yankees. Bauer being held by Parker. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Carey. Koufax comes to the plate. Carey checks his swing. This one, foul tip. Johnny Roseboro holds on. So that is a strikeout. 2 down here for Joe Pepitone, who writes books with balls and women's lips on it. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball to second. Gilliam up with it. Take his time on to Wes Parker, and 3 outs. So top of the third inning. Dodgers and Yankees scoreless. Johnny Roseboro, Sandy Koufax, and back at the top of the order, and Maury Wills. Rashi, 2-2 pitch now coming into Roseboro. And here's a shot toward the gap. Left center field, makes it all the way to the wall. Roseboro doubles to open the Los Angeles third, his first hit of the season. And now both teams have a number in the middle column. All right, here's the left arm of God batting. He's a right-handed batter. Rashi has the sign. And here is the pitch. Koufax squares the bunt, takes the pitch upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 pitch. Koufax again showing bunt, lets it goes by. So count 1-1 on Koufax. We'll see if we have a temporal distortion here. Nope, 1-1 on Sandy. And Rashi's pitch. Koufax showing bunt again. He gets this one down. Tough play for Andy Carey. Third. Good play, though, as he goes to first. But on the play, Johnny Roseboro is going to move to third. So Good sacrifice there by Sandy Koufax. Back at the top of the order now. Wills standing in, struck out in his first appearance. Corners in for the Yankees. Roseboro has a good lead there. 0-1 pitch and Wills. And line shot into the hole. Andy Carey with the dive gets by him into left field. Johnny Roseboro will commit the first run of the game. So Maury Wills, RBI single, and the Dodgers leading this one 1-0 here in the top of the third inning. Jim Gilliam in the box now. Bounced out to third his last time up. Vic Rashi from the stretch and the delivery. Gilliam pops it into short right field. Maris camps underneath it, and he has it for out number 2. Nowhere that Maury Wills is going to go. All right, here's Duke Snider. Rashi throws over to first. Wills, no problem. He's back safely. Rashi ready to work again. Throws over, and Wills is safe. Throw hit him in the back of the leg as he went back into first standing up. The 1-0 pitch on Duke Snider. Vic Rashi offers. Pop up toward third. Carey is there and waiting and takes it for out number 3. 2.5 in the books here in Yankee Stadium, and the Dodgers leading this one 1-0. All right, we will have Vic Rashi, Tom Tresh, and then Gil McDougall due up for the New York Yankees. Rashi, a right-handed batter. The 1-1 pitch, line shot into right center. Nice play by Duke Snider to cut it off, and Vic Rashi will hold it up with a base hit. So always love it when your pitcher can help his own cause. Here's Tom Tresh now, back at the top of the order for the Yankees. Single back in the first inning, and the Dodgers looking bunt. 1-0 pitch, and this one grounded past Wes Parker at first. Run down in the hole by Gilliam. Tumbles to the ground, throws, and gets Tresh at first. What a great play there. All right, so Rashi in scoring position now. New York looking to tie things up here as in the box now. Struck out his last time up against Koufax. 3-1 pitch, easy fly ball into center field, fairly deep but playable. The Duke of Flatbush is there, and he gloves it for the out. Rashi's going to hold second. Not going to run on Duke Snider. All right, kind of weird because this is such a mix of Dodger players. So used to the 1950s Brooklyn Dodgers, expecting to see Carl Furillo, the Reading rifle, out there in right. But good mix of players here from the 50s and 60s for the Dodgers. All right, here is one of the M&M boys. 0-2 on Maris. Pitch on the way. Strike 3 swinging. And the left-hander not fiddling around against Maris makes quick work of the lefty. All right, so that does it for the Yanks. And we go to the top of the 4th inning. Dodgers leading 1-0. And Rashi will face Moon, Fairley, and Parker, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters for the LA Dodgers. So Wally Moon flew out to very deep center last time up. Here's the wind in the pitch by Vic Rashi. Swung on it, hit into the air to right center. Mantle along with Maris, but it'll be Maris who takes it for the out. All right, 1 down now. Here's Ron Fairley. So outfield around towards right. Rashi peers in. Here's the 2-0, and he lets it go. Swinging a high fly to right. Maris back 1-2 steps and takes it for the second out of the inning. So looking to keep these Dodgers quiet now. Not that they've been doing a lot of rumbling. Wes Parker in the 6th slot. Walked his last time up. Here's a delivery by Vic Rashi, and Parker cranks the first pitch to deep right. This is going to take Maris all the way back, and he has it at the wall. All right, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0. So for the Dodgers thus far, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. For the Yankees, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. We have us a clean baseball game. Mickey Mantle, Hank Bauer, Elston Howard due up. The Commerce Comet in there now. Flight out to center last time up. 1-0 on Mantle. Koufax deals, and this one cracked right back to Koufax, knocks it down, stays in control, and calmly gets the out at first. And with Koufax's demeanor, you can almost imagine him doing that calmly. All right, here's Hank Bauer now, number 5 hitter. He led off the second with a base hit. Pitches on the way. A little roller to Maury Wills at short. Wills cannot come up with this ball. It's a do-or-die play, and Bauer is on at first. Infield single for Hank Baaler. So fourth hit for the New York Yankees here. One out in the bottom of the fourth inning brings up the catcher, Elston Howard now. Howard in the box. And Bauer being held at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And got him. Off-speed breaking ball by Sandy Koufax. Howard not sure what to do with it, and he is out of there. Out number 2 now for Andy Carey. Third baseman making a good play earlier in this game. Struck out his first time up. 0-1 pitch on the way. This one grounded Harbor right to Wills at short. Goes to second to force Hank Bauer. And that retires the Yanks. We go to the top of the fifth. Dodgers still lead this one 1-0. Jim Lefevre, Johnny Roseboro, and Sandy Koufax due up for the Dodgers. Lefty Lefevre in the box here, batting in the 7th slot. Full count from Rashi. And Lefevre lays off the low fastball and draws the walk. All right, here's Johnny Roseboro now. Dodgers looking to add here in the top of the 5th inning. Roseboro in the box. 1-for-1 with a double in this game. Lefevre moves off first, and here is the pitch. Lefevre gets the sign to steal, but did not get a good jump. Roseboro will take the fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. So good pitch there by Vic Rashi. Lefevre being held on by Pepitone. 1-2 now on Johnny Roseboro. Rashi works home, and Roseboro hit on the foot. Not much of a job at avoiding it. He's not hurt as he moves on down to first base. So the Dodgers now with runners at first and second. Lefevre just a bit slower than the trailing runner, Johnny Roseboro. All right, here's Koufax now. Koufax with the sacrifice bunt his last time up. Rashi comes to the belt, pitch on the way. Koufax looking to bunt and lays this one down, rolling foul, though, on the first base side. 1 strike offering on the way. Koufax squares, bunted toward the mound. Rashi pounces on it, throws to McDougal covering, and Sandy Koufax is out of there. Roseboro and Lefevre will move up. So 1 away, excellent chance here for the Dodgers as we return to the top of the order, and Maury Wills in the box here. 1-0 Dodger lead. Run scoring single last trip for Maury Wills. New York playing the infield back. Second pitch to Wills. Soft line drive to center. Falls in for single. Mando juggles and drops the ball. Both runners will score. Wills end up at second. So an E8 on the Mick. And the LA Dodgers now lead the New York Yankees 3-0. Sorry, Dwayne, if you catch this later on. All right, here is Jim Gilliam now. Rashi popped him up last time. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Gilliam gets into one left field, but the ballpark's going to hold this one. Bauer has it for out number 2. Wills tags, and he goes into third uncontested. So good aggressive base running there, heads up base running by Wills, judging that to be far enough back that Bauer's not going to get him on the peg to third. All right. The Duke of Flatbush in there again. Infield pop in the third. 2-2 delivery. And he's popped him up again. Foul territory. Joe Pepitone near the rail. And he's going to make the grab first base side. And Wills left to die on third. So the New York Yankees come to bat here, bottom of the 5th. The Dodgers lead this one 3-0. Joe Pepitone, Vic Rashi, and Tom Tresh due up. All right. 1-1 is the count, and here's the pitch. Ground ball, second base. This one not hit hard. Gilliam is up and over for the first out. All right, here's Vic Rashi. Not a bunt situation here. Had a base hit his last time anyhow. 1-1 pitch, swung and grounded right side. Gilliam ranging to his left, gloves, and throws to Wes Parker at first. So scoring on that one, 4-3 as Tom Tresh is in there now. Third time up today, 3-2 the count, and here's the pitch. Grounder to third, taken behind the bag by Lefevre, and he drops it, recovers to first, and gets him by a step. So Lefevre doing a good job staying with that ball. Top of the 6th. And it's the Dodgers 3, Yankees nothing. Wally Moon, Ron Fairley, and Wes Parker due up for the crew from Chavez Ravine. So Wally Moon flew out to right center last time up. Outfield playing him straight away. The wind in the pitch, lifted high, far, and waxing lyrical in a routine fly ball to center, 1 down. This game's starting to do what I do. That's scary. Okay, not that I'm that poetic. Here's Ron Fairley. All right, Rashi pitch is the 0-1. This one lined to Tresh at short, drops the ball, but he's going to get Fairley out at first, padding his assist total in the process. All right, so quickly 2 away here for Wes Parker. Number 6 hitter. No balls, 2 strikes. Rashi deals home, swung on, lifted to right center, moving over is Mickey Mantle, and he picks it off on the run. So the Dodgers go quietly. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees have to get to work here. So far, Sandy Koufax working on a 4-hitter. All right, it's going to be McDougal, Maris, and Mantle. 2, 3, and 4 due up. So Gil McDougal fly to center last time up, and Koufax ready to deal. 1-2 pitch. McDougal pops it almost straight up. Roseboro hustles toward the screen. No plays. This one just gets over the screen and down into the lap of a rather fetching Strawberry Blonde there. McDougal back in the box now. We can see a lot here from the press box, guys. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss on the chase, and McDougal goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today. That was a swing of frustration by Gil McDougal, if ever there was one. All right, here's Roger Maris now. And he has struck out twice in this game. 2-2 pitch on the way. And guess what? Well hit ball out to deep right field. And this is going to take Wally Moon back and makes a running catch near the wall. Great play there by Wally Moon. 2 outs. And the Yankees just unable to solve Koufax so far in such a groove here. All right, here's the Mick. 1-0 pitch on the way. And this one grounded hard down the first base line, gloved by Wes Parker, and he will take it to the bag himself, 3 unassisted. We head to the top of the 7th. Still no change in your score. Thank you for the hardcores hanging out. Probably most of you sleeping, and that's all good. Topped out earlier. Hope we can continue the discussion of shifting paradigms, not only in replays, but maybe some other things in our hobby. All right. We will have the 7, 8, 9 due up here for the Dodgers. Lefevre, Roseboro, and Sandy Koufax. Lefevre hitting first here, of course. Walked back in the 5th. Rashi with the sign from Elston Howard. The count 3-0. This one missing low and outside. So Lefevre looks at 4 wide ones, and that's the 2nd time he's walked in the game. There's Johnny Roseboro. He would like to add a little bit more. He doesn't want to wake up these Bronx Bombers. All right. Hit by pitch last time. Rashi comes to the set and the 1-1. Shot to center. Mantle breaks back. Now he's coming on hard and gets there in time and makes the catch. So Mantle went the wrong way on that ball, able to recover. So good play out there by the Commerce Comet. And here's Koufax. So Koufax in another bunt situation, it looks like here. 1 away, Lefevre on at first. Corners in, Carey and Pepitone. 2-2 pitch, broken bat, fly ball out to short center field. Mantle broke back, but with all that speed, he'll come in and easily make the catch. So 2 out, and we have Brokeback Baseball here, apparently. Back at the top of the order, Maury Wills. 2 for 3 in the contest today. The 1-2 delivery from Vic Rashi. Ground ball to second. Gil McDougal up with it, and he will go to first, and that will retire the side. 7th inning stretch time, and it's the Dodgers over the Yankees, 3-0. Sandy Koufax will face Hank Bauer, Elston Howard, and Andy Carey. We started asking him about some of these, about Andy Carey. All right, 2 straight hits off of Koufax for Bauer, and here is the pitch. And there's a drive along the right field line. It has the distance. It stays fair, and it's well into the lower decks. So the Yankees with a Hank Bauer home run, get on the board here in the bottom of the 7th. It's now 3-1. Can the Yankees creep closer? Here's Elston Howard batting. He struck out his last time. Pitch on the way from Koufax. This one hit in the air, but harmlessly. Snyder already calling in center field, and he has it for out number 1. Okay, Andy Carey, hitless today. Hit into a force play last time, outfield, playing straight away, the 1-2 pitch. Koufax kicks and delivers, drive to left field and deep, fairly moving back, and he has it 2 down. Big loud out there by Carey. So this left field, Yankee Stadium, just not very friendly to right-handed hitters. Here's Joe Pepitone, unless you're Mickey Mantle, of course. All right, Bill Skowron, the Moose. Thank you, Dwayne, for that one. So Skowron into bat now. Pepitone's day is done. Skowron back in the box now. 2-2 pitch. Koufax comes home, and 96, a fastball with credentials for swinging, strike 3. 7th strikeout now for the left arm of God. Bill Skowron will come on now to play first for the New York Yankees as we head into the visitors' half of the 8th inning. And the Dodgers will be sending up Jim Gilliam, Duke Snider, and Wally Moon. So Gilliam in the box, the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gilliam swings, and he goes down swinging. Foul tipped. Elston Howard able to hold on to that. So 1 down now for Duke Snider. Hasn't hit safely today. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Inside edge at the knees, and Snider goes down on strike. So Rashi making a beautiful pitch there. 3-1 your score here in the top of the 8th inning. Brings up Wally Moon. Batting cleanup today. This is his 4th trip. Flew to center his last time up. The wind in the pitch. Swing and a miss by Wally Moon. Chasing that one way out in front. So LA goes quietly. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And center field, we're going to have Willie Davis. Let me see. What do we got here? Willie Davis out there in center. We got Clem Labine pitching. And I think that's everybody. Yep. All right. And we have us a pinch hitter here. Jerry Coleman batting for the Yanks. And then we head around to Tom Tresh and Gil McDougald. So 9-1-2 due up for the Yanks here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Gene Woodling will come in now as a pinch hitter. So little lefty batter action here. Gene Woodling. Full count on him. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball. This one way outside. And Clem Labine gives up the walk. Clem Labine, former Brooklyn Dodger. Top of the order now, Tom Tresh. He has a hit today in this game. Labine from the high set. Here's the 2-1. And this one lined in the hole. The diving Gilliam at second can't hold on to the ball beneath him. Now the throw to second for 1. The relay too late. So Tresh, good hustle going down the first base line. Gets on in the fielder's choice. 1 away for Gil McDougald. Nothing in 3 tries for him today. Struck out back in the 6th. 1-0 pitch on the way, and this one is driven to deep left field. It's going to be a long run for Ron Fairley, and he's not going to get there. Up against the wall on 1 hop. McDougald will hold with a double. Tom Tresh rounds 3rd, and he will hold there. So the Yankees not taking any chances here. 1 away now, and here's Roger Maris. Ron Paranowski now comes on in relief for the LA Dodgers. So the Yankees posing a serious threat here with 2 in scoring position. Tresh at 3rd, McDougald trailing him at 2nd. And Bobby Richardson will come in to pinch hit. So Maris's day is done. With a lefty on the mound, they're going to put the righty Richardson on there. So in the box he goes. Paranowski with a sign from Johnny Roseboro, 2-0 pitch. This one lined right to 3rd. Jim Lefevre, beautiful play, and doubles off Tom Tresh. Oh, my God. So any thoughts of a rally, that hurt. That hurt the Yanks. Ouch. You don't want to get doubled off. All right. We go to the top of the ninth. The Dodgers lead the Yanks 3-1. Steve Hamilton now on the bump for the Yankees. And in as a pinch hitter, we got Tommy Davis. Wes Parker waits on deck. Gene Woodling will stay in and play right field. And Roger Maris will take a seat. Get ready for tonight's party, as the M&M boys did. All right, here's a delivery from Hamilton. Hit hard on the ground to the left side. Andy Carey up with it over to first. And they get Tommy Davis by a step. One away now. Wes Parker, nothing for two in the game. Flew out his last time up. And here's the pitch from Hamilton. This one popped up behind short. This one carrying, and it's going to be Bauer in left pulling it in for the out. So that one looked like it almost was going to fall in no man's land. So good hustle there by Hank Bauer. Good night, AP. Thank you for coming in, my friend. And we'll catch you next time around. All right, here is Jim Lefevre. Bats with two away. When we go to the bottom of the ninth inning for New York Yankees, it'll be Mantle, Bauer, and Howard. Two down. And the wind and the pitch. Strike three swinging. So Lefevre getting jammed by an inside heater by Steve Hamilton. So Tommy Davis will come in now to play left field. We are in the bottom of the ninth inning. And here we go. Mickey Mantle in the box now. 0-for-3. Perinoski ready to work. Bloop and a blast is what they're saying here. Full count, and here it comes. Swung on and missed. And Perinoski picks up the strikeout. So there is no bloop there. And here's Hank Bauer. Bauer having a pretty good day here, though. He is a perfect 3-for-3 with a run scored and a run batted in. And we know how that happened. It was a home run by Hank Bauer that got New York on the board in the seventh. So 3-for-3 today, the 1-2 pitch. Bauer gives it a good ride to center field, but this one's going to stay in the yard and be caught by Willie Davis for the out. All right, two down, and it's up to Alston Howard to try to keep it going here for the Yankees. Perinoski ready to deal. Howard 0-for-3. And the two-strike pitch. This one hit down the left field line. A majestic fly ball. Not very deep, unfortunately. And over to catch it is Tommy Davis. And that's your ball game, lads. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And we're just going to do a quick recap and make like sheep or shepherds and get the flock out of here. For the victorious Los Angeles Dodgers, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. And for the New York Yankees, 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error. And that does it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We peaked out pretty good tonight at about 12 in a little discussion and show off. I want to thank Paul Fay, as always, for coming in. Ken Castro for telling us more about his project and sending some narrative to Paul. And to everybody else, AP, thank you, buddy, so much for coming in. Parallel League, man, gotta love it. Parallel League was here with us tonight. First one in the ballpark, actually. Nathan Advocate 8 was here with us. I think we about covered everybody. So until the next time, gentlemen, we'll see you around the batting cage. Have fun. Play lots of baseball. Bye-bye.